But as you can see, I finished my firebox. I finished grouting the stone. I still need to stain the cedar here. He wants it a darker color, kind of like his bench here. He did that bench himself. But the fireplace is coming along nicely. I just have to build a cap and stain that, and that should be done. But today, what I'm working on is I'm putting together the pergola. Been to the store several times to get all the parts and everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're going to use for this. This is very beautiful red cedar. I'm going to use it with 3 posts out here on this side, the fireplace side, and 4 posts against the house, away from the house, with them, and run it into a gutter. The tin roofing, run into a gutter, and bleed the water away from the house. That way nothing's getting wet here. So that's what we're working on right now. Right now I'm working on my measurements for where I'm putting my posts on the inside. That's where it's going to be anchored. So I'm working on that, and then show you when we got something up. Okay, so this is a process I'm going through today. Today I'm sanding a lot of the posts and everything so that I can stain them and put this up already stained. I may just stain the faces of them, the ones against the wall over there. I mean, I'll stain the back side, stuff like that, if I don't. So I haven't completely decided yet, but I still have to sand them all down and take them down to that nice finished look, nice and smooth. It's a little more work than I had anticipated, but it's okay. Is I needed 8 foot 6 inches length posts, which they don't sell anything in like 9 foot or anything, so 10 foot was way too expensive. So what I did was I took another post, I bought 1 extra post, and I cut 4 inches off of it and took a giant lag bolt like this right here, put wood glue around it and tightened the frig out of it and made it fit. And it'll be at the top, and you won't even know it's there because my 2x6s will cover it. Anyway, everything's all sanded, all my posts are ready to go, so I might as well go start putting the posts up, and I'll start putting the frame up for the pergola. Okay, so you can see this lumber here. That is really expensive cedar, like $48 a piece. So I have a lot of cuts to make because they're long enough to go make my span out here and a little bit left over. So I'm going to double check everything, make sure it all fits right, and sure as heck going to make sure that everything is marked correctly before I cut it, because it's $48 down the drain if I don't. So we're going to be working with that, and I'll show you some more work that I get done as I go along. Okay, so fast forward to the next day. I stayed late till about 7 o'clock and put up these. So hopefully I'm gonna finish today, maybe tomorrow at the latest, but I should be wrapping up this job by the end of this week. So let's see what we can do. For this part, what I do is I'll cut them, and I don't know if you saw the end here, They're cut at a 45 with just the tip cut off, which looks pretty good. So I got to cut all these. Now, if you're not familiar with construction, is what I call construction magic. And what it is sometimes you got to tweak things to make it work. So for like this one, my construction magic that I had to work this time is these posts out here are not in a straight line. It appears as they are, but they're not. Whoever built this house before, when they poured this patio, they poured it about 8 to 10 inches out of square. So that makes it where it's not a straight line. That out there, the edge of the patio is a straight line. I measured that, squared it up. That's a straight line. But the edge of the pavers is not, that goes along the existing patio. So I used my construction magic and made it appear as though it's a straight line. As well as the overhang will be exactly the same on that end that doesn't, like, you can't see yet, as this end over here. Now I'm going to have to measure that and make it all work out. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm working on getting all the measurements all the way across, and then I'll cut them and screw them all in place. So let's... Okay, so for those of you that don't know how to mark 45s or anything like that on a board like this, let me show you how real quick. It's pretty easy. This is what's called a speed square, and it's got all the measurements on there, and it's already on there. It's easy to do. Now, if you see on this bottom line right here, that's your 45. That's your I can't think what it's generally called, but that's the one you want to use. The other one's for your common, which that's totally different measurement. So don't worry about that one. It's the bigger numbers on the bottom. So what you do is I already marked my overall length on these, which is 131.5. So you take the corner of your speed square, you put it on your mark, just like that, and then you line up. I don't know if you can see that. You line your 45 up with the edge that's on that bottom row, and then you mark your mark just like that. That's how you do a 45. Same with any other measurement for a degree, like 32, 22 and a half, something like that. All those marks are all on there, and it's easy to do. Just do that way. You can also, rather than using a tape measure for anything up to 6.5 inches, you can use a speed square. Use this as your your edge, so you hook the board with it, just like that. And you can mark. This one has it marked 2 inches. There's a mark for 2 inches. Some of them have more. This one's got a mark for 3.5. Just stuff like that. It's really easy to do. It's one of the best tools you can have as a carpenter, landscaper, whatever. This is one of the best tools you can have. Okay, so the last thing I'm doing for the day is making these little angle cuts. They're 45s. You're going by all the posts and everything. I'll brace it up and give it a cool look. So that's all I'm going to do for today. I'm not going to be able to get to the fireplace. It's going to be too much work, and it's getting ready to get dark. So climbing up and down the ladder took a lot more time. So that's all I've got for today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Also, another good thing to note, if you're ever cutting like a 45 brace like this, and you're going to screw it in from the corner, if you're using screws, make sure you pre-drill it, because if you split it, it looks terrible and you got to redo it. So always pre-drill. Make sure you use the right drill bits so it's not too big or too small, and then you won't have problems. So time to pre-drill all of these.